Hi, welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with the website forum GLP, and it is quite relevant to the Kenny Veach Cave mystery, as certain information has come from that place, as well as findings and comments, okay? So where do we start? Well, GLP is some kind of forum website which, host a range of different topics and discussions. It isn't just Kenny Veach Cave, it's all kinds of things, including political stuff, etc., aliens, paranormal, the lot. Upon first using it, it was a little bit fiddly to get a hold of. If you used to post a comment or something, or maybe a link to someone's video, there's a certain format. Someone did help me at the time, which was necessary. But once getting past that, it was, it was an okay place, there's a range of different topics. It's one of those places where there could be some very old ones, but they get updated along the way in the pinned section and through the different pages. But every now and then people might post newer things. But with a mystery like Kenny Veach and Cave, I guess it is limited. You didn't see too much coverage on YouTube consistently until I came along, and I guess it's kind of the same with other websites and platforms. So there's that to take in mind. But yeah, I did start posting a few links just to get a few conversations going, discussions, just like how we do here. And in terms of responses, you might be thinking, okay then, what type of people are they? Is it some kind of hardcore place where it's very strict, or there's a lot of insults being thrown around? Is it like a Call of Duty lobby where there's a lot of trash talking? Is it extreme? Is it mild? What is it? Well, from my experience at least, it's no different to YouTube. And, I've heard a few people said that, there's a lot of discussion, arguments, name calling. It can get quite brutal at times. And yet, really, the only two comments I saw aimed towards me is, God, this guy is so fucking annoying and boring. And I'm like, okay, that's an opinion, that's fine, not a problem. And it's like, is that it? And then I think another person said, God, this guy is such an idiot. You don't know what he's doing. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, it's no different to what Silverheels has said, at times on YouTube. So that's what I mean. It doesn't sound as bad. Maybe it's just a situation. Maybe it was just the timing for me. If it was a different topic, a more populated one, if there's more people in on the thread, there might be more harsh comments. But whether there is or isn't, it's to be expected, a place like that, because it's not widely known like Reddit is. To be honest, I think Reddit is actually more toxic than GLP, in my opinion. So that's kind of a surprise in a way. But, there is times where people do respond with actual information and important stuff, which can definitely help. I mean, CCTV camera footage, 2018, that break-in, that's where it originated from, that piece. Someone put it up in a thread a while ago. There's a few comments, discussions about it. Jeff Clark came across it and then, told me about it and so on. So, there are people quite observant and looking all over the place, even when you don't know who's who or who's doing what. Behind the scenes, things are going on. Was there anything else? I mean, I guess so. There was like the introduction of Sean. I think Sean appeared on GLP at one point, or there was discussion about him, that new upcoming hiker way back then, 2015-16, so there's that. What else is there? The drone, the military drone caught on Google Earth, that originated from there. As I said, there's a range of stuff. I mean, the one that didn't, and I don't think it did, was the Ewu crew UFO flying over when they were in the Mojave Desert. So posted that on there, a few little discussions. I'd say one of the more interesting ones has to be during Scott Natal's hike, when he came across, unknown to him at the time, inside the cave where there was symbols, you remember, on the rocks. And when that was posted on GLP, there was, a wide range discussion of it. Ancient, maybe something to do with aliens, form of treasure, going back in time, history. There was a lot going on there, and there was a lot of people talking about stuff. So that was interesting. I think a few people who are on YouTube, the odd few people have been on it themselves, done the odd few posts. So yeah, I don't know if you would ever go on it, but if you do, feel free to do so. Just don't start an invasion or anything like that. It would be unnecessary. And I'm not showing any screenshots and stuff like that because I haven't really done before in the past. It's a bit difficult because it's on desktop and stuff, so you're trying to crop the text down. It's quite small, the fonts, so it might be hard to read. And with the usernames and the numbers and the bits of information, it's it's kind of like an anonymous site in a way. It's not like a well-known place. That's what the uniqueness is about, and that's what's the other features with the website? Well, supposedly freedom of speech, one of those type of things. I don't know if it's an American run or owned website. It might be, it might not. I think most of the users are American though, so could be. Do I have any negatives with the place? Well, as for the people that might whinge, whine, complain, argue, not a problem. It's to be expected. The type of place it is, not a problem. I mean, I think really the only time where there was a bit of resistance, but it's probably linking on to previous point I just made, is when I just did that little observation and update to do with Sean, that one. And the way certain people responded were a bit defensive then, but it's to be expected, it's understandable, because if they know him or if they've seen him in the past, they're going to defend him and support him. It makes sense. There we go. So yeah, there's that. Really, the only problem is they call it freedom of speech, the website, but the moment you start posting a few links, you get banned and shut down. So it's like, oh, you can appeal, etc., but you can get banned again. And sure, you can create an account, but then, the whole freedom of speech and this and that, but you kind of being slowly forced into creating an actual account, entering your email address and all the other bits of information. I know the odd person will leave a comment down below or say, oh, but it's just part of the procedure. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. Yes, but, you've got the anonymous part. You've got this and that. There should be a bit of choice, especially when they're going about the way it is run and the structure of it. I mean, one of the reasons why they've got that create an account feature is because at times they do have to shut the site down. So anonymous and guest visitors cannot enter or post stuff because I guess the website gets under attack at times. So it does make sense regarding that. But, like I said, if there is valid, relevant points to be bringing up within the Kenny Veach MCave mystery, share it all around, and you just get banned because you're sharing so much, even though there's a wealth of information or new findings in a short burst, but you're punished for it in a way. It's kind of like, that's a bit stupid, a bit impractical. But, it is what it is. All in all, it's just another forum, which has freedom of speech to an extent. Would you get resistance in a video like this? I've no clue, because you go on YouTube, there's not really much to talk about the website. I mean, it's not like one of those dodgy, secret, dark web ones where you need special permission to join or you need to find these hidden links. It's nothing like that. But, you just don't really see it mentioned on YouTube at all. So, there's that. And yeah, that's about it. The main point is certain information and findings have originated from GLP. So it's been useful, and some of the information and comments provided have been useful and interesting too. Is there anything else I've not included? It was also the place where that dodgy person showed up, if you remember, the one who labelled themselves as the shaman or something, the old shaman, the one who reached out to me in the past, but I ignored him, even though I never received an email from them in the first place. And then they sent me a lengthy second one, kind of insulting me, insulting another person, advising me, telling me, encouraging me to move away from this current mystery and move on to other stuff, and being told what to do and what not to do, and given lots of links and lots of other information about other irrelevant things and so on, which in a sense could have taken a fair bit of time to type up, possibly, so there's that. And that's where that person came from. So yeah, maybe you do come across the odd few dodgy people on a site like that, to be expected once again. But then again, YouTube, that's where most of the dodgy stuff has happened, with the dodgy accounts. I mean, not to do with the threat level, but just to do with the dodginess. There's a lot of dodginess, right? The bots, just in general on YouTube, or if it's people associating themselves within the mystery, like a resistance wall, trying to issue threats. It could be anything. So it don't really change. So, I mean, this thing, I guess it depends how much you put yourself out there online across different platforms. I think that's the key thing, different platforms. I mean, yeah, I've come across some people who've, told me about dodgy encounters and dodgy people, dark stuff that's happened with them. And I sat here thinking, oh, so I've not really come across that. I wonder why. Not that I'm asking for it, but I'm just kind of curious to why certain things haven't happened. But then again, I guess it might just be specific websites. I think Facebook tends to be a very dodgy one, where a lot of shit goes down. Don't know about Twitter. That's like more drama, bitchiness, that website. Instagram is kind of neutral, but in terms of the media, very narcissistic. Look at me, look at me on holiday, look at me here, look at me eating food, or look at me in this questionable attire. That's more narcissistic. YouTube, that's just kind of a all-rounder, not too good, not too bad, okay, and for me, pretty good in terms of people I've come across. Not much of a problem there. And then external sites, Reddit, cancer, absolute cancer. The most useless platform I have come across. And I'm talking about, like when it comes to gaming, you need tips, ideas, suggestions. How do I do this? How do I do that? Oh, I'm experiencing technical issues. Can you help me? And nobody helps. Everybody, typical human race, come out with the same regurgitated lines, just like with the Kenny Veach case. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you turned it off? Have you turned it back on? Have you turned your monitor on? Have you updated this? Have you disconnected that? Have you enabled and disabled that? Have you opened and shut that? And I'm thinking, oh my God. And once I actually did that typical concept what I've implemented, where I list and quote everything what a typical human would say to me before the conversation's even taken place. And the responses I got, to save them time, to save their breath, their energy of wasted advice, they said, oh, you're pretty sure of yourself. Oh, you seem pretty narcissistic. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be time efficient, because a lot of stuff what comes out of your mouth is a load of shit and not helpful whatsoever. So I'm trying to speed the process up, like the catalyst I am at times. Still didn't go down well. A lot of delusional people on Reddit, very delusional. I remember Borderlands 3 video game came out on PC, few performance issues. I think other people experienced it as well. But for me at the time, before I got a different PC, it was shit. Even though, I guess the stats, the, what do you call it, the processor, the computer itself and all the stuff within, it could run the game. And yet, when it came to changing the settings, if I had it running on ultra, the frame rate was low. to be expected. And yet if I ran the game on the lowest settings, the lowest resolution, so it looked like a PlayStation 2 game, pixelated, the frame rate didn't improve whatsoever. In fact, it actually went down a bit more. When something like that happens, that's not normal whatsoever, is it? Not normal whatsoever. Something is definitely wrong with the game. And yet when I presented it to people, such as on Reddit, and I provided the link, the evidence, the video proof, nobody could accept it. Everyone was delusional. And it's just so typical humans, typical fucking bastards all around. Can't help, pretty much useless when it comes to these cases I'm talking about with the games. And they're just so delusional. It's like, what, you can't accept a different reality? Just because it works for you, you can't accept that it goes wrong for somebody else? Are you that typical delusional positive person that throws out all these positive quotes and bullshit, but it doesn't work for everyone? Ooh, that's so typical. So that's what Reddit can be like. I know you got the typical toxic people on Reddit where they'll say negative stuff, or they'll get downvoted for saying something neutral. It's all over the place. It's definitely a degenerative place. Complete degenerates, absolute spasmodic spasticity, spasticness, 100%. I guess even with Mordhau, I mean, at times it was funny, it was fine, but like, once again, when it came to the tips, the advice, the way people were talking, natural selection, only the best will know these tips, we're not going to share it to anyone. Oh, well, do you know what, if you just go off and practice, if you just go off and do this and do that, you're not going to fucking get anywhere if you just keep practicing and practicing, going round and round in circles. It's like the definition of insanity, expecting the same thing to change when you're doing the same thing over and over again. What the fuck? Like, what's going to change? What's going to happen? No, you need to learn a technique, a certain method. And if you're not told how to do it, and you don't know how to do it, then you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to get anywhere. And you're on a place like Mordhau, because the elitism, that's one of the key words there, their head's so far shoved up their arse, basically. So there's that. And yeah, maybe it's just gaming. Maybe it's just gaming, because that's all I was involved with when it came to Reddit. That might be the problem. Gaming in general is like a breeding ground of degenerates, so there's that. As with Kenny Veach, not too much of an issue, but then again, it's probably because it's not as talked about, not as popular, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, there's been talks about Kenny Veach, the M Cave on Reddit, the odd few pictures shared, maps, suggestions, measurements of potential locations of the cave, where it's centered, situated, stuff like that. Nothing too deep, really nothing updated. I know there was one user on YouTube called Mrs. Ghost who said she did an update on Reddit or posted something on Reddit talking about the Kenny Veach stuff, but I don't think it got anywhere. I don't even know if it happened unless they forgot. But even if they did, not much came out about it, so dead end there. So yeah, you know, once again, Reddit, other platforms, forums, Godlikeproductions. There's another one I think called Lunatic Outpost or something. Not been on that one. The odd person's talked about it. I guess it's similar to GLP, one of those type of platforms where maybe visually it might look a bit basic, like the backgrounds, the visuals, the text font, but that's not the important thing about it. The important thing about it is the information and the people that are present. So that applies to GLP as well. But overall, you know, Kenny Veach, M Cave Mystery can be plastered all over the place. What are the most covered areas? Probably on YouTube, first place, followed by TikTok. TikTok seems to be quite a popular place for Kenny Veach and M Cave. A lot of people come over from there at times, like on Sean's video, maybe the odd video of mine. So there's that. But I guess the problem with TikTok, it's one of those places where a lot of people talk about the mystery without really getting anywhere. And what I mean by that is just telling the same old regurgitated story. We've already seen it before on YouTube, no surprise there. it happens, but it's also on TikTok as well, and it might even be more common, but it also makes more sense because, you know, videos are shorter on TikTok. It tends to be the case, the trend, shorter videos do better, so that's what people do. Less research and just the whole construction and style of TikTok. It's short, sharp, quick videos on the spot. So you're not going to get like in-depth things. It might be just a quick story time, roundup, review, and stuff like that. Maybe the odd little clip of hike footage of something, you know, shocking happened in a short space of time. That's what tends to happen there. So it's to be expected, but also it's once again kind of like a breeding ground of degenerates to an extent with certain stuff. You probably get resistance from people. Definitely TikTok will be. From my experience, there seems to be more people from the UK that might have watched certain videos, but I guess it's all down to geographical locations and stuff, etc., etc. But it's like one of those things, if you can try and spread, not the mystery, like spread it, make it more complex, but get it out there so more people can hear about it, so they might be able to solve it, or it might bring more people in to, you know, adding their points or opinions in, then I guess TikTok is a good place to do that in a sense. But whilst good things can happen, bad things where it brings in degenerates. But I don't think TikTok has as many dodgy people with the Kenny Veach case. There's definitely dodgy people on TikTok with other stuff, for sure, definitely. But with the Kenny Veach stuff, it tends to be those, you know, outer websites and things, forums, and a bit of YouTube. So yeah, I think that's enough talking. I just wanted to mainly give my main opinion on GLP, because I've not really talked about that before on YouTube, and then just like the other websites I might have gone on or looked at when doing the research. So you can leave a comment down below, let me know what platforms you think are the best, or what platforms you've been on which have been useful to you regarding the Kenny Veach MK case. Is it YouTube, or maybe an additional one out there? Leave a comment down below. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.